Before the break, we told you about Kim Hoover-Moore, the Columbus woman wrongfully convicted for the death of a child, one of the most heinous of accusations. After nearly 2 decades behind bars, new medical evidence set her free. Surprisingly, though, wrongful convictions may not be as rare as you might think. Benjamin Franklin said it is better to let 100 criminals go free than to imprison one innocent man. But it happens. Wrongful conviction is one of the greatest tragedies in our criminal justice system. And whenever those wrongs are made right, the cases end up here on the National Registry of Exonerations.
It's important to have a record of these injustices.
Simon Cole is the director of the registry and a professor of criminology law and society at the University of California, Irvine. He says although we'd like to believe it's rare, wrongful conviction is actually more common than most people realize.
And it's a very large judicial system, so nationwide it makes mistakes fairly regularly.
Since 1989, 2,883 people in the United States have been exonerated after a wrongful conviction. The numbers show the criminal justice system is not without its flaws.
It doesn't mean it's terrible, but it does mean you have to take a skeptical look at the results of our justice system.
A Columbus woman will soon be added to the Registry of Exonerations. In 2003, Kim Hoover-Moore was found guilty of killing an infant because the coroner ruled the cause of death as shaken baby syndrome. She always maintained her innocence and was even denied parole because of that.
Their decision was that, in a nutshell, because I would not admit guilt, that I wasn't rehabilitated.
Finally, in 2010, Hoover-Moore's case was accepted by the Wrongful Conviction Project at the Ohio Public Defender's Office. Their investigation uncovered new medical evidence that turned the case upside down.
This child had suffered from a devastating injury weeks to months before her death, but not in Kim Hoover-Moore's care.
After nearly 2 decades in prison, Hoover-Moore's conviction was vacated in October, and she was immediately released.
This is a monumental event. And it is by the grace of God and the people that took an interest in me to make sure that this happened, and they never gave up. And I cannot thank them enough.
She is now one of 25 exonerations in shaken baby syndrome cases nationwide and the first in Ohio.
In the vast majority of those cases, it's changing medical opinion. And usually that's, the diagnosis of what's commonly called shaken baby syndrome, or sometimes called abusive head trauma, is controversial.
So what could Hoover-Moore's exoneration mean for other convictions based on shaken baby syndrome?
I think that this case can serve as a guide for those cases, and can show both defense attorneys and prosecutors and judges that we need to take a careful look at these cases in light of the developments surrounding shaken baby syndrome in recent years.
Now, there have always been some issues about diagnosing shaken baby syndrome. The main one is that all of the components of the syndrome can occur individually in other settings. Another issue is that, as in most cases of potential child abuse, there are no witnesses. Now, as a result, there has been a call for more scrutiny in cases of shaken baby syndrome.